Hey guys, we're just gonna give a little bit of the patient voices and caregiver voices and why it's so important to use our voice and just give a few little tips. So you just heard Julie's story, and thank you, Julie, for sharing it. And I can't tell you how happy Bobby and I are to see your smiling face. Um, and thank you so much for sharing. Um, I see Wendy and I see Ann and Dow. Did we lose Paula and Paul? I'm sure they'll join us soon. So, Wendy, you are a lung node patient. Would you mind sharing your story a little bit?
Sure. First of all, thank you, Julie. I mean, it's always been like in everybody's mind, or at least mine, to hear a story like that. So thank you so much for sharing. You look great.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, so my story, so I have been dealing with neck cancer for 15 years. I was diagnosed in 2005 with a solitary bronchial tumor in my right lung, and it was removed, and I was doing really well. And after about 7 years of no evidence of disease, my doctor said, like, this is probably never going to come back. So go live your life and do your thing. So I did, and they said, oh, come back, in about 5 years. And I was like, ooh, I'm a little nervous about that. Can I do 3? And he was like, okay, 3. So came back at 3, and I had metastasis of liver, bone, heart, lymph nodes, kind of all over the place. So this was back in 2017, and I have then immersed myself, because before, I know many patients have gone through this as well. Were sort of, oh, it's, no big deal, and it's just carcinoid. And when all this happened in 2017, I immersed myself in research and finding out what this really was, and what I needed to do. And one of the things, Marianne, you had said, the patient's voice, and that rings very true to me, because as I was talking in our long chat this morning, is I've learned that you really need to be a pain in the butt when it comes to this disease. If you don't know, you should never have an unanswered question, and you should never have an unanswered feeling. And if you feel like something is right, probably, as Julie said, that was her decision, you should stick with it and find a doctor that supports you. So I wanted PRRT, and as a lung patient, at the time, there were no trials accepting lung patients, but I was persistent, and found a doctor that made an exception for me. So I received PRRT, and that really has helped me, as well as doing some other procedures recently to help with bone. So I had radioablation and liver tumor embolization. So anyway, that's my story in a nutshell, and I'm very excited to be here and be able to see other patients and connect with other patients. I'm a mom of 2 beautiful little girls, 4 and 10, and I'm also a veterinarian and currently retired.
Well, thank you, Wendy. Do you have any piece of advice for a patient?
Yeah, I think the things that always ring ring true over and over for every patient I speak to is, it's literally life or death to find a good doctor. So that's one thing, find yourself a good doctor. You should never go with a question unanswered, or have that gut feeling that this isn't the right doctor for me, or, you just have that feeling. And number 2, be a pain in the butt, advocate for yourself. You should never, ever feel that something isn't right in your gut. So just advocate for yourself and come to conferences like this, inform yourself. It is literally life or death.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Anne and Dow, Anne is the patient, and you want to just share your story.
Sure, Marianne. I was diagnosed in August of 2016. We were living in Seattle. Well, we were living in Washington State. I was diagnosed by an immunologist allergist because my general practitioner had no idea what all my symptoms could be attributed to. He immediately sent me to a larger facility in Seattle, and I was given the classic 3 to 5 years, not a candidate for surgery. And fortuitously, I have Dow, my husband, to lift me up. We have adult children, and we were almost out of the state of octogenarian care. We only had one parent living at the time. So we were able to truly devote our concentration on researching neuroendocrine cancer. I had debulking surgery in March of 17, and we attended our first NCAN conference 6 weeks later. Bob and Marianne, I was really intimidated at first until I met them. And then I said, okay, this is a group I need to be affiliated with, because what is presented at these conferences was exactly what was expressed to us by the very first NETS patient that we met in Seattle. And that was, we can live well with this disease. And I continue on Sandostatin LAR. I take Zermello. I have a few other little complications that we deal with, but right now, life is good.
Life is good, yes.
Life is good. Okay, Dow, so you are the caregiver. What advice do you have to caregivers?
Be there when she needs me. Be away when she doesn't need me. We all know about carcinoid rage, and so when that happens, you're just very careful about that. But I think I want to expand on what Ann said about the key to this disease is communicating with others who know about it, because you'll find doctors who don't know about it, and you're educating the doctors as much as yourself until they get up to speed. So NCAN and Ann's Tennessee group within NCAN are wonderful resources to get to know people personally, get to know other cases and experiences, and then share the needs and share what works and what doesn't work.
Very good. And do you have any recommendations of pages that they should visit on the NCAN site?
Well, of course, Marianne, you know I do. Thank you. Yes, Dow mentioned our support group. And that was a promise I made to myself before the surgery. I said, if I survive my surgery, I am going to pay this forward. And yes, I came out of surgery just fine. Ha ha. Anyway, soon as I was up and moving again, and we moved cross country 3 months following my 8-hour surgery. And after I recovered from that, we became involved with NCAN, and I'm a big proponent of the whole organization. And I like to encourage everybody, if you have not already been there, go to the website. You will see the link for our support groups. I hope there's one close to you. I've already had a name today from someone visiting in the Caregiver group who's volunteered to learn more about being a leader. So that was encouraging. But also, there is a tab at the top called Resource Room. And in the resource room, we've got a vocabulary list. I believe we have the list of common acronyms and abbreviations that are unique to neuroendocrine cancer. Because we've learned this language that nobody else speaks until you live this life. And we've got some motivational tidbits in there, things to lift you up, things to comfort you on the bad days. And you've got 10 years worth of videos from previous conferences. And if you're considering, if you haven't already traveled to see a specialist, if you're hoping to go see a specialist, this is a great way to get a little introduction because they're all good. They all have unique offerings. And part of your job is figuring out who you have the best communication with so that you all are a team of advocacy for yourself. And that's a good way to be introduced to many specialists and advocates and the pharmaceutical reps too. We even get a little bit of that in the things. Right.
Well, thank you. So as Ann touched, she is a chapter leader, and here at NCAN, we have about 30 chapters across the country. And after this meeting, we're hoping that some of you might have gotten inspired to become a leader. Please reach out to us. We do the training. We help connect you with group people around your area to start groups. Unfortunately, with this whole COVID thing, a lot of our meetings have gone virtual, but we can't wait till we're in the same room. I know many of you know me for many years, and you know I'm a very huggy, kissy person, and this is driving me crazy that I can't grab you. So if this is something that you're interested in, reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to discuss it. I think that you know, everybody has brought up really good points. The point of you being a team for your medical care, try to find a doctor that will listen to you, that was willing to work with you. And if the doctor is not willing to listen to a specialist, then maybe he might not be the right doctor for you. And remember, yes, there are specialists out there for neck cancer, but just because they're a specialist doesn't mean they're the perfect specialist for you. You have to find the right person for you. Another thing that I just want to touch base on, and that is the Facebook groups. There are a lot of Facebook groups. Just remember that these Facebook groups are run by patients or caregivers. They are not run by medical professionals. Even the people who have medical professionals' names attached to it, the doctor's name is attached to it, but they may not be moderating that group. Do not, and I repeat this, do not give your medical records to anybody over the internet. That means if they're asking to see your biopsy report or anything like that, please do not send that. That is nobody's business. That's your private information. That's information that is shared with your doctor and your doctor's staff only. I hear a lot of times that patients are sending their biopsy reports and all kinds of stuff over the internet. It is not safe. People can get that information and use it. You know, especially if you're a patient and you're still working and you don't want your company to know that you have this disease. This is something we talk about. Now this information is now out on the internet, and even in the private rooms, it can still get out. So please remember that when you are in these Facebook groups. Remember to take things by a grain of salt. You know, people have a tendency to go onto Facebook to complain. You hardly ever hear positive things. And so we want you to use those rooms, but also use it as a grain of salt. And remember that a lot of times people are on there to complain, not to say the positive. Because what happens is people that are having a good time and are, you know, are in a good place with their disease and stuff like that, they're not going on Facebook. They're enjoying their life. It's the people who are having a hard time that are on the Facebook pages. So just kind of remember that. I'd also like to thank all our wonderful speakers for today. We're sorry about that little technical glitch. We will get Dr. Dillon and Dr. Odorizio and Leanne Burns back on a Let's Get Real podcast, and they'll be able to answer all the questions. We'll post it on Facebook. We'll post it on our website and let you know. We're really excited to announce that on October 17th, we'll be doing this all over again, and again in November. So we hope that you all enjoyed it. We hope that you got the important information that you needed. We hope that you all went to visit the booths and got the information from there. Make sure you download it. These booths will be open until 6 p.m. I hope you went into the hospitality page, booth, and got to see the stuff that is there and to talk to the staff there. There is a special code for today. Anybody that wants to purchase anything from our website, there is a code for 20% off your purchase. We don't talk a lot about money, but as many of you know, with this whole COVID thing, a lot of the communities and nonprofits are losing money. The funding is not coming in like it should, and we had to cancel 2 of our galas. We also had to cancel 2 of our walks. We will be doing a virtual walk, which will be opening up soon. We're hoping that maybe you would join us with this virtual walk, and that maybe also by purchasing merchandise for Christmas for family and friends will help bring money back in. We want these programs to continue, to be able to answer the phones for you guys, to be able to send those information packets, and to bring great programs like this around. So if you can, even a small donation, $5, $1, $5, $10, whatever you can give, please make a donation when you can. If you have a company that you work for that does matching funds, please send us the paperwork. We'll be more than happy to put it in. And right now, I think we're going to find Robert. He's going to announce the gift cards for the 10 people. We'll have the exhibit halls open until 6 p.m. At 5 o'clock, we will be having Jean do another yoga session. Remember to go and visit the booths. Familial carcinoid chat, that is for 2 or more members in your family that have carcinoid. We are going to have the PNET chat, and that's with Rhonda and Julie. And then we'll have from 5 to 6, we have the GI Nets chat, and that's with Ann Dobbs, Dave Vickery, Katie Adams, and Chris Bazan. So, Robert, take it away.
Yes, thanks, Marianne. Before I let you all go, and thank you so much, great panel discussion. Anybody got anything they want to say before we go?
I did have a couple of, there were some questions on the chat that I can quickly answer, Bob.
Sure, we have a few minutes.
Okay. There's a question from Adrian that said if I had a typical or atypical carcinoid, and mine was typical. And then a question from Dave that says, how do you challenge your doctor if you find they're not in time with your diagnosis? And I know that, a lot of us have run into that, and it's absolutely okay to agree to disagree and find yourself another doctor. There's no problem. If you're not getting the attention that you need, then it's okay. It's kind of like having friends, really. Not everybody is going to be friends. Not everybody's going to mesh, and you just have to find your person, your doctor that you mesh with, that you can easily talk to and communicate with. So if you don't find that, it's okay. It's okay to say it and find yourself a new one.
Great. Well, thanks, Wendy.
Thanks, Bob.
You're all welcome. All right, with that, we're going to let you all go home because I can't believe that, you are home. But it's been a long day, and we appreciate you staying around all day long. Can't believe that it's time to announce the winners of the Panera Bread gift cards, but that's what we're going to do right now. So just before I make that announcement, I want to let you know that we really do feel bad about the question and answer session, and even though we couldn't do anything about it, it was a technical glitch. We're going to get Dr. Odorizio, Dr. Dillon, and Leanne Burns to join us on a podcast, as Marianne said. But this way you'll know. keep checking on the website. We're going to get it done as soon as we can, and we'll get that done for you. Okay. So now, the winners of the $15 Panera Bread gift cards are Tom Salberg, Peggy Reed, Joanne Wickland, Alicia Christensen, Lori Kaminsky, William Hagan, John Rattazzi, Richard Moore, Mary Jo Deerwester, and Karen Metz. So thank you very much. We'll be sending those out to you via email. And just before I go, I want to thank everybody, thank all of our sponsors. Now, there's still more. You can still go and visit, as Marianne said, the exhibit hall, see more Yoga with Gene, and go to those peanut chats, the peanut, GI, and familial chats in the Zebra Lounge. So don't leave yet, but thank you for coming, and we will see you at the next conference.